And what's up, everybody, and welcome back to Celluloid Psychosis. I am your host, TJ Bowser, and joining me, as always, is the very handsome, very British, the king of Salisbury himself, Mr. Paul Ashford. What's up, buddy?
Hey man, I am good as always. Yeah, man. My week has been great.
Yeah?
Other than work, which is just work. I've finally pre-ordered a couple of physical media things, which I've been off the wagon for a while. So I've got a German edition of Crawleys coming to me.
Nice.
Actually coming to my girlfriend's mum's in Germany because they do not ship to the UK. That's not out until the end of June, but I probably won't see it till Christmas when we get to go to Germany, hopefully. Um, and I've pre-ordered something else which I cannot remember, but I spoke to you about it. What was it? I can't remember.
I can't even remember.
There is something else I've pre-ordered that's out later this year. I completely forgot what it is. I did randomly pick up Dragon World on Blu-ray
Yes.
because you know how much I love my full moon movies. Um, and I, for some reason, never had that in my collection on Blu-ray, so finally added that to the collection. I like anything from the Paramount era, Full Moon especially.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, man, yeah, been going out. We've been having some nice meals, lots of pizza as always, nice walks. Yeah, man, pretty good stuff for me. How about yourself?
Well, we kind of should address, the gap. You know what I mean? Like, the gap that, we've been gone.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been gone for a little bit, mainly because of my life changing
Mm-hmm.
in a big way. And if you've been listening to the show in any capacity in the last, I don't know, 47 episodes, you know that was a full-time automotive content creator, making car commercials and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Since our break, I have left that job and has pursued a career as a marketing manager in firearms at the
Wow.
most upscale shooting range in Pittsburgh. So that's what I do now, is I help sell
Nice.
guns and get people to come shoot guns. But yes, so I kind of got to figure out, when are we going to do the show? And Monday
Mm-hmm.
right now is the day that works best for us. And we're going to come back later this week on Thursday to give you news. That's not going to be the normal regular schedule. We're going to try to keep it consistent. We're going to do weekly shows as always. We're going
Mm-hmm.
to hit you with the same amount of content. It's just might not be on Tuesdays anymore, because it's definitely not going to be on Tuesdays anymore. It might be Mondays. It might be Thursdays. It just might be one or the other. We will let you know. But
Mm-hmm.
it will be available on Project Louder. You can just find it all here and all that stuff. But yeah, I've got some shipment from A24 Films. I got 6 movies in. Really interesting digipacks. Awesome releases from them. I highly recommend them. I did get I Saw the TV Glow physical release, and
I
it's
remember that one.
premium. Yes. I
Mm-hmm.
also got Love Lies Bleeding,
Mm-hmm.
Baby Girl, Sing Sing, A Zone of Interest, and We Live in Time. There we go.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
Have you watched any of those other than I Saw the TV Glow?
Uh, you have to read them all out again. I've seen the trailers for most of them.
yeah, because we talked about them on the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, so before we took our break, Paul and I teased
Yeah.
that we were going to do one of my favorite films from my childhood. And we're here to do that today. And that is 1997's Mouse Hunt, directed by Gore Verbinski, who also did The Ring. And what's POTC?
Pirates of the
The Caribbean.
Caribbean.
Oh, that guy. Yeah. Written by Adam Rifkin, who also did Small Soldiers and Detroit Rock City. Yeah. Good
Yeah.
stuff. Starring Nathan Lane as Ernie Schmutz. You might know him from The Producers or The Birdcage. Lee
Mhm.
Evans as Lars Schmutz. You might know him from There's Something About Mary or, stand-up comedy. Vicki Lewis as April Schmutz. Finding Nemo or Godzilla. She is that girl from Godzilla, Paul, and
Yeah,
not the
yeah.
one everyone's thinking of, the bad one with Broderick. Maury Chackin as Alexander Falco. Michael Jeter as Quincy Thorpe. William Hickey as Rudolph Schmuntz. Final role and dedicated in credits. That's the old guy, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
The puppet master himself.
And Christopher Walken as Caesar, the Exterminator.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I love this movie. I absolutely love it. And Paul, read us the plot.
Yeah. When their string when their string magnate father, Rudolf Smuntz, dies, brothers Ernie and Lars move into his decrepit old mansion. Struggling to keep a promise to never sell the now unprofitable string factory, the brothers decide that restoring the house, the last built by a famous architect, could bring them a great deal of money. But during their restoration attempts, Ernie and Lars are continuously frustrated by a malicious mouse that keeps destroying their efforts.
So, this movie is like gothic comedy, like just maximum, just uber. Like there's gothic
Yeah.
undertones, there's visuals out the ass. The
hmm
wardrobe is all like, I want to say, what, 1950s America
Yeah, it's like
almost?
40s, 50s, and then it jumps to 90s. It's weird.
It's
It's
very
good.
weird.
Yeah, yeah. It's a
And
weird
it
mix.
never really gives you like a certain time, it kind of
Mhm.
gives you, yeah, retro future vibes. There we go.
Yeah, yeah.
And but like there's this whole gothic like dark tone. There's nothing bright about this movie. It's always dark, dreary, wet, gross. But then
Yep.
there's some really funny slapstick comedy. And then there's
Mhm.
awesome set pieces and just these massive effects, series of effects and
Mhm.
CGI shots, really good CGI shots. Shots that border on you can't tell of this
Yeah.
mouse. And this mouse is incredibly cute. Just like incredibly cute. Like it's going to warm your heart. You're going to love this mouse. And this mouse
Not
is
as
just,
nice as the cat, but yeah.
but he's just such a
Caterpillar.
character of the movie itself. Like he has so much presence on
Mhm.
screen, and I just love everything about this movie. And of course, the way that our main characters, Ernie and Lars, play off each other, nobody could have played this other than Nathan Lane and Lee Evans. It is
Mhm.
phenomenal the way that they play off each other in this movie. The
Mhm.
slapstick comedy is something that harkens back to the silent film era. It is
Oh,
just
yeah.
turned up to 11, and everything about it is just so good. And there's some like tropey stuff in there, but I think they do that on purpose to turn it up.
Mhm.
And I love that. Like it just hits all the beats, and oh, it's great. Paul, what do you think?
Yeah, man, I loved it. So I remember when it came out in the cinema here in the UK, um, I almost watched it. I literally
Mhm.
almost watched it in the cinema. I remember it well. This is 97, 98. Basically, I took my mum to see Titanic,
Mm.
and this is before I knew how to use internet or the internet was a thing. So we just turned up to the cinema to buy tickets for Titanic, and it was sold out, completely sold out.
Oh, that
So
happens.
we didn't want to waste a trip, and we're like, what else are we going to watch? And we chose between uh, Mouse Hunt or The Full Monty, and we chose The Full Monty. um, which was good. But yeah, I remember vividly. I remember it was on. Um, I think it was. I think I was going through Google and Wikipedia. It actually opened at number 2 in the UK behind Titanic. So
No way.
kind of. I think it came out. It must have been several months after the USA, like we always get in the UK, or we used to back then anyway. So to me, it kind of got a bit lost in the shuffle because anything coming out in the probably 6 months around Titanic was going to get kind of
What all
lost.
came out in 97? Let's look that up while you're talking about that.
Yeah. I want to say Starship Troopers. Is that 97 or was that
Yes.
98?
Goodwill Hunting.
I remember vividly before Titanic, there was the trailer for your favorite Godzilla movie, which we
Yes.
mentioned.
Fifth Element, Air Force One, Devil's Advocate, Face Off, Liar,
Yeah.
Liar. Austin Powers would have debuted that year. Starship Troopers, Jurassic
Starship
Park
Troopers. That's
2,
right. Yeah.
As Good as
Uh,
It Gets, Breakdown, Donnie Brasco, and Disney would have premiered Hercules.
wow.
What
What
a
a year.
fucking year.
Yeah, man. The 90s were great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember it well. Obviously, watching Titanic in the cinema was like a huge epic event anyway.
The
I
Relic
did get
also
to see
came
it the
out
second
in
time.
January.
What's that?
The Relic.
Oh, The Relic. Oh, wow.
Have we talked about this on this show? No.
You've told me it's one of your favorites. We
It
haven't
is.
reviewed it. We haven't. We should talk about it.
We
Yeah.
should. It's one of my
Yeah,
daughter's favorites too.
I love 90s, 80s and 90s was kind of my era for movies.
Yeah.
My favorite era for movies. But yeah, I remember it well. But yeah, it kind of in the UK at least, it kind of got lost in the shuffle. I think
Mhm.
purely because Titanic was just a
Well, there's no
monster hit.
big names really attached to it. I mean, Nathan Lane is mostly like a voice actor over here,
Yeah, I
aside
didn't really know who Nathan Lane was,
and
honestly.
then Lee Evans is completely, unless you're into stand-up comedy, like
Yeah,
there's no presence here.
he
So
was big in the he's big in the UK, he still is now.
yeah.
So I guess UK wise, he was a bit of a draw for the
So
movie.
this is the definition of a cult classic film.
Yeah,
This whole setup here, and I wish Gore would do more things like this, or like more films like this in general would exist, like this gothic dark comedy stuff, but
yeah,
with
yeah.
like a mouse. Like of
Mm,
all things, like the mouse is the turning point. And you can call this a kids movie, but at the same time, there's some really dark stuff and there's some
yeah.
sexualization going on there with
Oh, there's some
April.
weird stuff in there.
And like I said, with like the tropey stuff, the wife leaving him as soon as he's getting down on his luck and stuff, and things
Yeah,
like that. And the
coming back when there's money
yeah,
or sniffing for money.
the bad food review type thing.
Hmm.
That whole thing is yeah. But boy, is there that let's just talk about the opening scene because the opening scene kind of sets the tone for the whole movie.
Hmm.
So we get music, black screen faded, rain, and we get to see
Yeah,
like these two brothers and pallbearers behind them walking their brother, not well, walking their father, dead father,
yeah.
down the steps of this
Hmm.
church. And I believe there's even an interior shot of the casket, so we see the body, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
Yep, yep.
Okay.
The
So they're
pumpkin house
arguing
looks.
back and forth,
Hmm.
Ernie and Lars Schmutz. And as they're progressing, Lars' side breaks,
Yeah, the
causing
handle.
Ernie to like lose grip, sending the front end of the casket to fall straight down, sending his father's body out of the casket straight in the air about 50 feet and then
Hmm.
straight down into a manhole where they look down into the manhole all at the same time with
Yeah,
perfect comedic timing. And then the construction workers say, "Well, he's gone now,"
yeah,
and then credits,
yeah. And
intro
there's a
credits,
pop in the
and it's
water in there.
yeah, it's fantastic.
Hmm. Kind of reminded me. Well, actually, one of the tone of the some of the set pieces and the backgrounds were very much reminding me. Like you said Gothic,
Yeah,
and exactly brought it back to Batman, 1990 Batman.
yeah,
You'd almost see Gotham City in some of the shots, like that shot,
yeah.
especially with the long and massive steps, just the way
It
all the
feels
people are
like
dressed.
any of the Mike Magnola Batman
Yeah,
graphic novels.
yeah, yeah. And you get the scene also reminded me of Batman. It was when they go to find a cat and they go to like the
Yes,
kennels, and it's like you're in the where the Joker was formed in the what do you call it, like the factory, like
yes.
the paint, the chemical factory, very similar to that.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's got its vibes are kind of all over the place. It's it's weird. It's kind of
It's
like
not
naughty
Burton-esque. We
50s.
wouldn't say Burton-esque because there's no like.
No, those two
It's
bits reminded me of
yeah.
that
I,
type of
I, I'm
movie.
just clarifying. It's different. Like I don't know. I haven't seen another movie like this, like visually like this
No.
within this genre at least.
Hmm. No, no, definitely. It's kind of it's a weird mix. It's a weird
Yeah.
mix. And it was I believe it was also DreamWorks' first movie they released, or first family movie they
Oh,
released.
did this fund Shrek?
Yeah. Yeah, probably. So yeah, kind of a start of a massive era of movies. Obviously, they're still huge today.
Would
Um,
this movie be better if it was David Spade and Chris Farley?
or back in the day, was he alive in '97? I don't know.
Chris Farley died in
I don't think it would have been as big a hit. Definitely not in the UK.
97.
Oh wow.
December 18th. So yes, he could have been in this.
Yeah, I don't think it would have been as big a hit. Well,
It
not in
would
the
been-
UK at least.
I feel like it would have been a massive hit because they would have had two people at like the peak of their career.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
If
yeah,
anybody
yeah,
could do slapstick, but I don't. Maybe it wouldn't have been as a physical. I mean, for Chris, it would have been a physical role, but maybe not as much David Spade.
yeah, yeah. It would have been, yeah, it would have been interesting.
I
I'd
don't
have
know
watched it for sure.
if this movie had all the money. You know what I mean? That
For
would have
me,
been the
neither
thing.
of those guys they were never huge in the UK.
No,
Really, no, no. I don't think their
see,
movies.
I always saw those two as like the big dudes, like the big comedy guys growing up.
Really,
Yeah,
yeah, no. I like their films, but they were never
Black
like
Sheep and
huge.
Tommy Boy, man, like those films are
Yeah.
like fantastic.
Do you know? I want to even say they might have been direct to video in the UK.
Really?
Possibly. I don't remember seeing him in the
That is
cinema
for a
at
further
the time.
episode, maybe a Chris Farley special.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's such a weird mix. One thing that I think lets the movie down is the poster. I don't like the poster art.
The poster really plays into the kids movie thing, and I think
Yeah.
that's was to bring people in. But like we said, 97 was already really like a heavily loaded year. So
Mhm.
by the time Mouse Hunt came around, it had a lot of competition. And like Paul
Yeah.
said, it is DreamWorks' first film. So they're
Mhm.
really trying to maximize market space here and try
Mhm.
to make it appeal to as many customers or potential customers as possible.
Ba, ba, ba.
Ba, 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 ba. So having a poster like this, like Paul's referencing there,
Yeah.
it looks colorful and friendly, and kind
Mhm.
of honestly, this movie's Ratatouille before Ratatouille, and especially at the end.
Yeah. So yeah, yeah. It's also it's a very mix. It's like Lauren Hardy style, but it's also Tom and Jerry. But Toms are Lars and Ernie. It's not
Mhm.
actually. There is a
Yeah.
scene with a cat in there, but it's not. The whole movie is is a giant Tom and Jerry movie with adults replacing Tom. um, Although there is a scene, one of my favorites, with the cat, Catzilla.
Yeah.
Um, that's the what probably the one. That's probably the I would say the weakest time of CGI. I know this is we're talking 1997.
Yeah.
But
Whenever the
originally,
box scene you're talking
yeah,
about.
the only bit
Yeah.
that really of that CGI is when they get the cat in the giant box and they put it down and like
The legs.
typical like Tom and Jerry style, his legs
Yeah.
shoot out, pop out of the holes, and he like runs around. Um, that's the
Oh, the
only little bit.
comedy. I know another movie that's like this, The Mask.
Yeah,
Like
that
it's
was
not
a
as comic booky, you know what I mean? But like vibe wise,
yeah,
like
yeah, similar kind of
with
similar vibe.
like the visuals and
Hmm.
like the slapstick stuff, I'd
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
put it in the same realm as that.
Hmm. One interesting thing I didn't know when I was until looking into this film a bit for the review was
Uh-huh.
that Stan Winston did the effects.
Damn,
So a lot of the mouse and the cat were animatronics, and they obviously did some CGI
the
touches there.
internal wall shots are so incredible. I
Uh-huh.
love them, and like the following along of like the pipes and shit. Like that's so
Yeah.
cool. Like David Fincher's like, yeah, it's so cool. I got to do it in Panic Room. No, it's not
Yeah,
the same.
the
It's
whole
not the
house
same.
looks amazing. It looks incredible.
It does, yes.
Yeah, yeah. I love any film that's got a big haunted house. Well, it's not haunted, this one, but
So to
it looks
preface
like a
this,
haunted house.
so
Yeah.
after the dad dies and everything, and we get the opening credits, Ernie, he's a chef, and Lars, he's kind of the guy who's focusing on the string company while his brother's a chef.
Yeah, they
Well, the
got like an
brother,
interesting dynamic because obviously Lars loves his dad,
yeah,
wants
and
to follow up
Ernie's
with it,
kind of
but
like, I have my own thing, I'm dealing with it.
yeah, I'm a chef, I don't care, kind of thing. Yeah.
So he has the mayor, correct, over
Yeah.
for dinner, and he's really turning up the French thing. Like Ernie pretends like Schmunt somehow is French,
Yeah.
and he's doing, "Oh, welcome, Mr. Mayor. How are you doing tonight?" It's hilarious, of course. And then
Hmm.
he has all of his kids with him and everything. And then they seats them, and then we get this whole sequence of this roach,
Yeah.
this roach being placed in the food, and
So
then the may
the roach actually comes from his father's death, doesn't it? Because he's
yes.
they're at the wake and he picks up that old pack of cigars and the roach is inside the cigars.
Mainly because he says, "Look, pops, this is all you left me is this box of
Yeah.
Cubans," and he kind of
Yeah,
like
that's it.
throws it
That's it.
down.
Hmm.
So of course, then the mayor, it's a movie. He
Hmm.
eats the roach, and then the girl is like, "Oh, daddy, you're eating a roach." Well, half a roach, and he spits out the roach. Ruins Ernie's career. He's kicked out on the streets.
Hmm.
Lars goes home. April's pissed because he's a loser. She's supposed to be married to the son of a string mogul making all this money, and
Yeah.
now the factory's barely making any money, so she's leaving them. They're both
Hmm.
out in the streets, and as we said it in the plot description, they were told during the will reading that there is a house, so they go to the
Hmm.
house. That's the only place they go, and they are laying in bed, and they keep
Yeah.
hearing this noise, and then they go try to find what this noise is, and Lars lifts Ernie up to go figure out what the noise is, and his head goes through the ceiling, and he
Hmm.
sees the mouse for the first time. But amongst the mouse are these rolls of paper. And whenever Lars lets Ernie down, he kind of gets stuck a little bit and takes down everything with him, and he falls,
Yeah.
and all the papers fall. And through those papers, they find blueprints. They're actually
Yep.
blueprints, and they're designed by some sort of famous like early American.
Charles De La Rue or something
Yeah,
like
De
that.
La. It's the missing De La
Yeah,
Rue.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then you have like this montage of like, and really cool camera work, by the way,
Mhm.
of these appraisers and historians coming in the house and looking it over, saying, "Oh, it's the missing De La Rue" and all that
Yeah, yeah.
stuff. And then them finding out, kind of trying to feel out how much money are we going to make off of this, and
Mhm.
kind of them putting all of their eggs into this basket of let's try to make this house and make as much profit as possible. So then we get to see the funny stuff of, hey, we know there's a mouse here, and this mouse is also aware that we're going to try to fix this house. So this mouse does everything in its power from their point of view to
Mhm.
stop them. And it is just hilarity ensues. It's great stuff. It is so good. Uh
Yeah. Yeah,
Paul?
definitely. There's some really great scenes. Like I said, probably my favorite scene. Well, if I go favorite scene, I love when they obviously they're down on the luck. They want to try and get rid of this mouse. They've already tried several attempts, and they go to the kennel to get Catzilla, which is like a giant cat. Doesn't work out, unfortunately. But there's a great little scene with the mouse and the cat where it's the mouse is like they put the cat down in the giant box and the mouse has come up to sniff it, and you think, oh, the mouse is going to get it, but no, he can still outwit a giant cat. But like you mentioned, the mouse is like the central character, like it's like it's got a lot of feeling. There's that really nice scene where it shows the mouse going home into the wall and going to bed. He's got like a little it's like a cigarette tin, and he's got like a little blanket, and he lays down and like puts the blanket over himself. And you
Yeah.
think, oh, this is beautiful, a lovely little mouse. He's going to sleep. He's looking around, and then suddenly these giant nails start firing through the walls into the cat, not into the cat, into the mouse, and he's like running for his life, and all these nails are coming at him. And then it pans to outside of the wall, and it's Lars with a nail gun nailing in like the trim of the wall, isn't it? And it's just a really funny scene, and also like the brutality of the humans trying to get him. And that really lays down the character for the mouse. I think the mouse is never named, actually, is it? It's not. I guess they wouldn't give him a name because he's their enemy all throughout most of the movie, anyway.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of great scenes, to be fair.
I love the mousetrap scene. I think it's funny as hell.
The room for the mouse traps.
The room full of mousetraps. The fact that they set all those traps and then they
Yep.
lock themselves in there, just
Mhm.
to subsequently just roll through them. So funny.
Mhm.
And then of course the jacuzzi scene is just a rip roaring good time. They spend the
Uh-huh.
last bit of money they have on a jacuzzi, take it all the way up the steps, just
Yep.
for it to end up in a lake nearby.
Yep.
And it's just wow.
And the way they ride it down the stairs, yeah.
Yeah.
And it pops up again later, doesn't it? In the
Yeah.
when not Lars, Ernie is blown out of the house, and he
Yes.
lands in the lake, and he just lands straight in the tub in the bottom of the lake.
And he's sitting with the
Yeah,
cardboard cutout.
yeah, that's it. Yeah, there's just so many amazing sight gags.
Yeah.
It's definitely got film it reminded me of is Casper.
Ah,
Must
yeah.
have been around the same time as this as well.
96?
That must have been 90s. It's got
Yeah.
that sort of vibe, sort
Rest
of
in peace, Bill
craziness to it.
Pullman.
Again, a big haunted house, crazy stuff going
Bill
on.
Pullman is dead, right?
Yeah, Bill
Okay.
Pullman, unfortunately
I
died.
just say it, rest in peace, he's
Um,
not dead.
it did give me those sort of vibes as well. That one film it does remind me of.
Mhm.
But yeah, so many amazing set pieces. Also, another film reminded me of The Money Trap. You ever seen that? Michael Keaton and Shelley Long. Was it Shelley? No, Michael
Yeah.
Keaton. They move into this old house.
The house is such a good setting, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or the
Mhm.
money pit. You know what I mean with
The Money Pit. That's what I meant. What did
that's
I
what you're
say? The
talking
Money
about.
Trap.
Money House with Tom Hanks and what's her nuts? Yeah, where they buy the
That's what I
house
meant.
and the whole house just keeps falling apart as they try to fix
Yeah.
it.
What did I say? That's
The
exactly the film I meant.
fuck,
Money Pit. Money
the
Trap.
house trap? I
House
don't
Trap.
fucking know.
I don't know. Yeah, The Money Pit. Is it Tom Hanks? I thought it was Michael Keaton. Wow, I'm getting my films mixed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it would be Tom Hanks, yeah. Michael Keaton, because we said Batman at the start. That's
Yeah.
probably
Where's Michael Keaton from, Paul?
Batman. Oh,
Where
he's
did
from Philadelphia,
he's from
but he is Batman.
Pittsburgh.
He's the only Batman that matters.
He's not from Philadelphia, Paul. Don't start. The
Where is he
other
from?
he's from Pittsburgh,
Pittsburgh,
pal.
Pennsylvania.
That's
Pittsburgh.
where Batman's
That
from.
is Philadelphia, isn't it?
No, it's not. Don't. It's the other side. You know geography, maybe.
Washington's in Chicago. I remember that.
Paul just lives on a small island, guys. Forgive
Yeah.
him. They do
So,
shoot Star Wars there, though. So
yeah. After, so the cat fails. So who else do they bring in to try and get this mouse?
Christopher Walken in one of
Yeah.
the coolest exterminator scenes ever. So we want to preface this. Earlier in the film, they talk about the previous owner of the house being found dead and stuffed in a trunk in the attic.
Yeah.
So we essentially see the great standoff of the mouse versus Caesar, and the mouse gets the best of Caesar. Go watch the movie. You have to watch Christopher Walken versus the mouse. It's a great scene, but ultimately Christopher Walken ends up shoved in a trunk in the attic. And it's hilarious.
Yeah.
And it's so good. And just seeing him on screen and in this film works so well. He's such a comedic genius.
Yeah,
And
he's very deadpan in this.
I love seeing him in Dune 2. The other was it last year? So cool to see him still kicking ass and being the character he is, you know.
I can't think of it. What other kid films? Well,
Balls of Fury.
That was a kid's film, was it? Yeah, I say it's got to be very rare to see him in a family friendly movie. But obviously, he plays it deadpan. He plays it like proper Christopher Walken style.
Yeah.
And again, his outfit is like an exterminator outfit. It's like 40s, 50s style, just to fit in with the zaniness of the movie. But yeah, there's just so much going on. It's very, very funny. It's an amazing set piece. It's also quite nasty in places. Quite, like I said, I keep going back to the kennel scene. But there's a kennel scene with the cats, and when they first get the cat, he just like prods it with an electric rod.
Yeah,
and you just think that's okay. It's like, wow, okay. And there's the weird, and obviously there's his wife leaving him, and then coming back when she gets a sniff of the money. Then there's Ernie. He's trying to get the attention of that girl, and then he ends up getting run over, and then missing selling the house to the investors who there's like a rival firm, a string firm, and who try to buy the house.
The big dude, and he's like, I will buy it. Yeah,
he just gets bounced around in a car by a car, and there's the really weird scene which probably doesn't hold up today. At the auction at the end of the movie, when they realize the mouse is back, because they think they've got it. Actually, that's quite a nice scene. We didn't talk about that. So they finally think they've caught the mouse, and they knock him out with is it orange, like a fruit. Then they daze the mouse, and he's kind of led their daze, but they go to kill him. They just can't do it. Do you remember? And they're like, oh, we can't do it. So they stick him in a box and they mail him off to I forgot the guy's name.
Is it like India?
Yeah, no, the name's on there. I've forgotten. Like in different country, miles away.
Pakistan?
No, it's because it's a famous name. It's a famous name, like a world leader or something. Anyway, they mail him off. You think that's it? Then they go to auction and sell the house, and then suddenly this little box appears, and they haven't put enough postage on it, and it's like it's chewed away. There's a hole, and then obviously you get the feeling the mouse is back, and he turns up at this auction, and there's a weird scene where Lee Evans' character Lars, the mouse goes down his ex-wife's spot, and he just like literally just sticks his hand down there, and he's like rummaging around in a bar area in a kids movie, and then obviously the girl that's with is it German lady or the foreign lady that's with
the hair,
with the crazy hair, who's with the other brother, looks over and then grabs his arm and then makes him put his arm down her bra.
What, you're forgetting about the fire?
The fire, yeah.
The up in German
girl's
girl's
hair. Of course, in the hair, yeah. This is. Oh, I didn't even get to that bit, but yeah, it's just weird. They're both fumbling in girls' bras in a kids' movie. Very strange, very strange. But yeah, you get the classic. My head's on fire. My hair's on fire because it's so big, as well. It's just like I said, so many sight gags, so many weirdness, zaniness.
Meanwhile, the house's walls are filling up with water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they try to flood the mouse out, don't they, with a hose pipe, and they end up
Yep.
filling up the cavities of the walls.
And the entire like room collapses, and
And all during this craziness, like the bidding is going up and up and up into the
yep.
millions. It's like
It's
they're going to,
coinciding with the water level. So
yeah,
as the
they're going,
water level in the bidding reaches its maximum, the breaking point comes. So they
yeah.
aren't able to say sold right as he's about to say
He's literally
sold.
about to bang the hammer down,
Yeah.
sold, and then the wall explodes with water.
And you see like this top down shot of all of them being pushed out of the front of the house.
Yeah,
And then
and
you
then,
see the shot from at the bottom of the hill looking up, and then the house collapses. And
yeah,
it's
and they all
just,
just drive off, and that's it. And that's it. That's it. They're really down on their luck. And just to end it all as well, the Lars's wife then goes off with that millionaire guy, doesn't she? She's off
yes,
again because
the
obviously she
cowboy.
finds out he's got lots of money because he's put in the massive bids, and she's gone again, and they're both back to zero with nothing, not even a house now.
So they go back to the factory where there's no workers because they weren't able to pay them a wage.
Yeah.
So it's just them. And the
Mhm.
mouse follows. Actually, the mouse rides on the bottom of the car. You
Yeah.
actually see a zoom in shot of that.
Hmm.
And while they're there, the mouse kind of starts playing around with. No, the mouse steals their cheese because they pass out
Yeah.
eating cheese. The mouse
Mhm.
steals their cheese and puts it on the string spool
Yeah.
and clicks all the buttons and starts all the string making process, thus inventing string cheese,
Yeah.
making the brothers millionaires and wealthy. And if they just would have trusted their dad from the beginning, everything would have been fine.
Yeah.
Uh,
And
yeah,
most importantly, they become friends with the mouse.
yes,
Yeah.
Ratatouille.
Yeah, exactly. Right, to on their shoulder. Yeah. So like a real heartwarming way to end what was a crazy movie,
A
crazy story.
combative relationship that turned out to be, oh, so helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So Disney definitely stole some of the points here from this
Hmm.
film. I will say that the 44% on Rotten Tomatoes is absolutely asinine, and it should be at least 70.
Yeah.
6.6 out of 10 on IMDb. That's gross.
Hmm.
Turn it up a little bit. Grossed 122 million worldwide on a $38 million budget. That did well, but like we
Yeah.
stated earlier in the episode, Paul,
It was a hit. It was a hit.
it was a
But yeah,
hit,
so
but it could have
for
been
me,
better if it wasn't such a busy year.
yeah, especially in the UK, so it came out around the same time as Titanic. So yeah,
And The
it was
Lost
great.
World.
Yeah.
All the kids are going to see that.
Hmm.
They all got their McDonald's Happy Meal with the little toys inside, and they're like, "Want to
Yeah.
go see the Steven Spielberg movie and see the
I still think the
Velociraptor."
poster let it down. The poster just doesn't. It just looks like a kids movie, but it's
Mhm.
so much more than a kids movie. It's a
Yeah,
movie for everyone. I and obviously
it needed bigger names attached.
we love
These
Physical
guys did great,
Media.
but yeah,
Yeah, yeah. We both know that it's got a 4K disc release out
Kino
in the next
Lorber.
couple of months. Is it
Yeah,
Kino Lorber? I wonder if they're gonna. Well, I hope they use some new art. I'll be interested to see what cover art they're going to use. I can't imagine they'll use the poster art, will
I
they?
think they always use the standard one
Oh,
for
really?
Kino. Yeah,
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see.
we shall see.
Yeah, and I think it'll look great in 4K.
I agree.
It's that sort of movie with the sets, like you said, the gothic, like the 40s, 50s vibe, those giant set pieces. Yeah, I think it's gonna look great.
I agree. Yes, I love this movie. Love like I said, already mentioned before, how much I like the interactions between Ernie and Lars. April's a memorable character. It's
Hmm.
it's a damn fun film. Paul, how would you rate this film?
Um, so I was gonna say 3.5. I might bump it up to 4 out of 5, just because it is a really good film. Just don't be put off from thinking it's a kids movie because you can watch it with kids, obviously, but there's a lot of adult comedy in there, a lot of craziness. Just think of it as like a live action Tom and Jerry movie.
Mhm.
Yeah, mixed with a bit of Casper, mixed with a bit of the Money Trap. Is it the Money Trap? What we call? I keep forgetting the name of
The
that
Buddy
movie.
Pit.
Money Pit. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. So yeah, 4 out of 5 for me, easy. How about you?
I'd say 4.5 out of 5. I think it's that good.
Hmm.
Yeah, there are some CGI scenes, but at the same time, It's 97.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for 97 looks incredible. Yeah, but it's got animatronics in it as well.
Yeah, we got physical effects. We love that stuff.
And from the legend himself, Stan Winston, as
Yeah.
well. So you cannot go wrong with
He
him.
makes dinosaurs and mouse
Yeah.
look cool.
And a cat.
And a cat.
And a pumpkin head.
So much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so I definitely had the VHS of this as a kid, watched it a bunch. And yeah, I don't know, can't remember where I got it or how I got it, but I definitely had it and I watched the absolute hell out of it. Paul, we're going to be back Thursday to talk about all things news. It's been a while, but we have a Vincent update, a Severn update, a Arrow Video update, a Criterion. We have a bunch of stuff that yeah, a lot of good stuff too. And then of course, a lot of trailers coming out. We got a new Wes Anderson trailer coming out today. Absolutely blindsided us, left us completely awestruck. Love it. Love it. Looks fantastic. Can't wait to talk about it. And like I said, it will be at 6:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursday. So you guys can catch us here, Project Louder, and you can listen to this episode or other podcasts just like this one on www.projectlouder.net or anywhere else you consume audio-only content. Paul, it's been a while, but it's been a pleasure talking with you, especially about 1997's Mouse Hunt. I'll see you on the next episode, and I'll see you guys on the next episode, Paul.